morning. This is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing with today's pre-opening grain and livestock comments. Take a look at with Novi Beans last night. Went right to the top of the little triangle there. We've been watching. If you've been getting my letter, if you're not getting my letter, sign up. RobinsonAgMarketing.com. Take a look at it. We've been looking at this level for a while. 1040 is huge. We got to 1038 last night and backed off. uh, One interesting fact: if you take the entire prices that were available in 2025, the high in February at 1070 five and three quarters, 1075 and three quarters down to 971 and a quarter. People always say, they want to be in the upper third of available prices. Um, if we get above 1041, you're there. So anybody that sold grain any below 1041, you didn't do a very good job. We're sitting here at right at that level. If we get another push higher, you're going to get an opportunity here to make much better sales. It just depends on what happens at this meeting. Overnight prices, soybeans did manage to eke out a penny and three quarter higher, 1033 and a half. Again, we got to get through 1040, 1041. No follow through buying in D's corn. We're still stuck here at this 420 level. 422 was our last trade, down a penny and a quarter. Chicago wheat down two and three quarters at 502. We'd had a little bit of a bounce here, but again, we need follow through. Let's hope we don't get a turnaround Tuesday to the downside. Slightly higher prices last night in crude oil. We have not gone down and tested the 4.5 year low at 55.12 yet. We were there last April. We were at 57.91. This little break is given anybody that uses diesel, especially if you're going hand to mouth. It's giving you a really good chance here to buy a dip in diesel as well, 4-month lows. So that's a positive. Moving ahead in the livestock market, we did finish higher yesterday in fat cattle and feeder cattle, barely. The deferred feeder cattle were all lower, but we're right back to where we were. Are we going to go fill that gap in November feeders? That's going to be the key. And again, if you want these levels, I do them every day. They're always there. That way, it saves you a lot of time. You don't have to be looking at, what are these numbers again? That's a big part of the service that I provide. Again, so watch that. Watch the feeder cattle level, and we'll see if we actually go fill that gap up there that we have from the other day. Basically, we gap lower our comments that from the president that we're going to be bringing up Argentinian beef to try and increase our supply here. No mention yet as to when the border with Mexico will be reopened because of the screwworm. Moving on to the December hogs, we're at a very key support level here. The April bottom down around 66.95. We topped out here in September, at the end of September at 91.50. This 82 area is very important. It's a 38% retracement. If that doesn't hold, it opens up the door for a possible retest back to that little blip we had in July when we traded 77.72. So if you're hedged, great. If you're working with me, we've already rolled down deep in the money hog puts. Anybody that had them on, we rolled them up on the rally. Now we're taking money off on the way down. That's a big part of what I do for my clients. I help manage their hedges. I make suggestions. Client makes decisions. I do not take power of attorney. I don't sit here all day and trade your account. If we see something, we call you, and then you get to say yes or no. So we'll see how we trade here today. I think all eyes are going to be on whether or not we can continue to rally in soybeans. And again, that all depends on, we're closing in on the meeting at the end of the month. It's going to be very headline driven. And the one positive, the funds are building a little bit of a long position in soybeans now. They're probably long 15,000. Sounds like a lot, but it's not. But it's certainly better than having them be short. And they're building a little bit of a long position in bean oil. They're still short 100,000 meal, 100,000 corn and 100,000 wheat. Why does that matter? Well, we watch that because if we get a rally, first people that are going to be buying it back are the speculative funds. Why? Well, mostly because they don't ride losers. That's why they're professionals. Um, they don't ride losing positions. When it's wrong, they get out. When it's right, they add to it, just like they've been adding to their longs in cattle for the past 10 months, right? They add to their winners. That's why they're professional traders. So we watch the money flow, not because it's the be all and end all. It's not the one thing that matters most or any nonsense like that. But there's a matrix of information out there that we look at every single day, and money flow is one of them. It'll be nice when we get the government back open. We'll get the official money flow. The CFTC does it um, every Friday. They post it as of Tuesday. Of course, with the government being shut down, we haven't seen that in a while. However, private estimates have us around those levels there that I just told you about. They're still short 100,000 corn, 100,000 wheat. There's got a small long position in beans. That should make you feel better if you were long beans here and are selling beans. If you're selling beans off the combine and harvest here, I don't know why you wouldn't, be pretty happy here. We're 50, 60 cents off the bottom. We are, anything north of 10.40 would be really, really nice. And yeah, if you're worried that we're going to get a deal, the day you sell it to the elevator and then a month later it's going to be 50, 60 cents higher, I understand that fear. If you're selling it right here because you have to, you can re-own it. You do not have to spend a fortune to re-own it. So you can make the cash sale. You can re-own it on paper. If you're looking for help with that, give me a call, 312-638-8868. This is Chris Robinson. Have a good day. And if you're not getting my letter, please sign up for it. Later on today, I'm going to be posting the private client um, podcast. We're going to dig into what we're looking at here on this Tuesday. Have a great rest of the afternoon.